Hey guys, Cal here bringing you another video. This one is going to be the OP farming. We have about 1 million gold, so that's going to be our little, what's it called? Checkpoint here to see how much loot we can farm in 10 minutes. But this is the new and improved farming strat that I've been using. And as you can see, it's all Valks and all lightning. And the point is to get to 50% as quickly as possible and then dip out so that we can get as much value out of our league bonus as possible. We used to use Electro Dragons, and Electro Dragons can work, but the Valkyries just go so fast and they plow through everything, and because they don't need that spell support, we just drop 2 lightning, 3 lightning wherever we see it, and we quickly get out of there. And it has been about over 1 million per minute. Oops, I messed that one up. About 1 million per minute, a little bit more most of the time, especially the higher up you go where we have these storages on the outside. But you want to just go as fast as you can, as the faster you go, the more loot bonuses you can hit. And we're going for 50. In the past, we've gone for 70 because 70 you get 100% of whatever your league bonus is. But when it comes to the amount you gain per minute, it's better just to go for that 50%, as the time it sometimes takes to get a 70% isn't worth it. You will struggle sometimes with bases like this where everything is kind of in walls. That's why we have the lightning to kind of hopefully get through it as quickly as possible. But that is kind of the only weakness of the Valkyrie, and maybe why you might want to use the Electro Dragons, because Electro Dragons are a little bit slower, but they can go over the walls, whereas Valkyries are faster. But see, we hit another base where we are going to struggle to break through the walls, so we have to drop a bunch of Valkyries in one spot and then use our lightnings here to hopefully snipe out some buildings. 3 lightnings is usually enough to take out a building, like a air defense, or like a air sweeper is 2, or even the collectors are 3. Of course, this is dependent on the level of your lightning spells, but for the most part you may or may not need a little bit more. But the Valkyries don't need that much of a boost, they only need a little bit. Like they get to that 50% even before I'm even dropping those lightning. The lightning is there to kind of help you with the final 1 or 2%, 3%, whatever you may need to hit that 50 faster. But if you are here for the first time and you're just kind of watching me do this, I'm now going to kind of explain how we do it. Pretty much, you want to get a flow. If you notice, we're going so fast that we're not even looking at the base. We're just dropping our queen in the corner. Preferably whatever corner you think is easiest. I like the far left corner. We have her with the healers. We drop our royal champion in the bottom with a siege barracks, our king on the side, and then we just drop all the Valkyries along the outside. This one, of course, is a weird base, but I dropped it like that for the sake of showing the concept, and that will get you 50% really quickly. And even if you don't get a lot of loot, in Legend we get about 300,000, so as long as we get 200,000 per raid, we're going to be getting that 500,000 that we want to hit, so that we can hit 2 attacks per minute to net us that 1 million. So as long as we are going places, it should be good. And see, even though, and sometimes we'll get 60% with our lightning, and that will get us to 300, which is a nice number to also hit. But we're just going to keep on going. We're almost 4 minutes in and already at 5 million, almost 6 million gold, which means that we're well over, no, not well over, but we are over that 1 million per minute. Is there an air sweeper? Boom. And, oh, this one's a little bit of a slower attack. Sometimes they'll be slower, sometimes they'll be faster. But through probability, if you've ever taken any probability class, I haven't, but I've heard many people talk about probability in this way, where if you have a small amount of attacks, then sometimes you'll feel like you're underperforming. Whereas if you do a lot of attacks, the times that you don't meet the quota that you need, it will feel it will be less impactful, because you'll also get bases that give you a lot of loot in the millions, and they will offset the bad attacks. So it's better just to go for it rather than worry too much on how much loot you're gaining, as the time it takes you to find a good base, you could have just hit 2 or 3 bad bases and then made up that difference. So I highly recommend not to think too much when you're searching for bases to hit. Already at 6 minutes here, a little bit more, and we're at, what's that, 7 million. So we're still at the amount that we want to hit. We're falling a little bit behind. Maybe we've been a little bit unlucky. We've been getting these bases that are, how do I say it, not as beneficial for us. Ones that will take us a little bit longer to get to that 50% while not giving us too much loot. And again, that will happen every now and then. So we're just going to keep on chugging. This base is underdeveloped, but that just means it'll be easy for us to get to that 60% or 50% really quickly. Our lightnings will be very effective, and boom, we got to 60. Getting that 200, 500k raid. 7 minutes in, we got 7 million loot. So here we're petering a little bit. We haven't got any super big hits, but the nice thing is, if this attack strategy catches on, there'll be a lot of people in this Legend League, in this High Titan League. They'll be able to get lots and lots of loot doing this same attack strategy. So hopefully if this catches on, it'll just make the attack strategy even better, the more people that use it. As a lot of times when I do this strategy, I hit that amount of loot that I want, and then I leave and I have quite full storages, making so that if someone were to do this to me, they would get plenty of loot for their troubles. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I like to aim for air defenses because I just know that those will be 3 every single time. If you want to be very optimal with it and you have very good identification, builder huts are also 3, and the helper hut, the new helper hut, is 1 lightning. But the helper hut is usually on the outside, but if you ever find a base where that's on the inside, you can always go for that. Sweepers are 2, and I think all the, I don't know what they're called, the spell towers are 3 as well. That one I waited a little bit longer, got the big loot bonus, but that was because I saw how full those storages were, and I knew that the Valkyries would be able to tear through, so I let that one rock a little longer than I usually would. When you're deploying your Valkyries, you can of course try to identify if there are a lot of storages on the outside. Like this one has a lot of storages, so we do know that we're going to get a lot of more of the loot in this raid. Yep, 300,000, making this a 600,000 raid. Approaching 10 minutes here, we're at 9 something, and we're just going to keep on going along the outside. King in the corner, and we're just going to keep on rolling with it. And oh, I forgot to pop the world champion. Make sure to pop everything, because the more you pop, the faster your raid will go. So we're going to finish up this final attack here, because we have approached the 10-minute mark. And come on, And then we'll just close up the video. This one is going to be a bad base because of all these walls. I don't know why all these people want to have so many walls all the time. The walls aren't even that good. They're not going to defend you against anything that isn't just this attack strategy, so it is a shame indeed. So hitting that 60%. This one has a lot of loot, and because it's our last raid, I'm just going to let this one rock and roll. Just because we do have these gold and elixir storages. This person has a lot of spring traps, trying to take out all my Valkyries. But, boom, we got a lot of it. Going to dip out. Ending on a 1,000,010 minutes. So, just like that, we're at 13 million, 12 minutes, 10 minutes, 12 million loot. So we did meet our quota. Even though we were looking bad in the beginning, we did end up pulling it out. As eventually we did get those 2 big raids. And eventually you will hit them. You hit so many raids that eventually you'll hit a favorable one to outweigh the ones that are less favorable. So hopefully this was an easy enough attack strategy to replicate. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.